I am Lily. I'm at the very beginning. Mummy cries. Panic grows. I'm being born. Too small, too early. My heart beating too fast. I am Lily. My tummy hurts. My bottom's sore. I can't find Mummy's eyes. I cry and I cry. I'm grabbed, lifted. The room shakes around me. Ow, it hurts. I'm Lily. My mummy is poorly. We don't have anywhere to live, so we have to sleep at Paul's house now. I don't like it because I have to be on my own all the time, and I don't like the way that Paul makes me feel. I want to be a ballerina when I grow up. I'm Lily. Well, Mum's kicked me out again. She sent me to Gran's. She won't have me because I got a caution for shoplifting. And school have suspended me. Well, I don't care. I'm not going back anyway. What's the point? I wish it was all over. I am Lily. Ben broke up with me. He shoved my head against the wall. It hurt me. I don't know what I'm going to do or where I'm going to go. I am 16. I'm pregnant. Lily didn't have a fair start at life, and the babies of young parent families don't have a fair start. It was the same for their mums and dads, and it's not fair. And it feels like nobody cares. Young mums bear the burden of poverty and hardship, abuse and violence, yet we hold them responsible. We blame them for things that are outside of their control. And we don't give them the help they need to bring up their babies to be healthy and safe and happy. I grew up in the 70s to parents that really had experienced how harsh the world could be. My mum had been a young mum, and my firebrand dad instilled in me that activism wasn't a choice, it was a duty to call out unfairness, a duty to tackle inequalities, and a duty to be the voice for those who are silenced. For me, this showed up in direct action as a teenager, and then working for women's causes, and finally a career in the voluntary sector. And 27 years ago, I started working with young parent families. I thought it would be boring, to be honest. I didn't really want to do it. I thought babies were these like grubby little things that were waiting to become interesting. But I needed a job because I was pregnant. And then I met Lily. Lily was a teenager with the wickedest smile and the biggest attitude. Lily had experienced the worst types of abuse and exploitation throughout her whole childhood. She'd been in and out of care. I remember her tiny little hands shook constantly with anxiety. I didn't know it then, but I wasn't prepared. I wasn't prepared for my own experience of motherhood, for that sledgehammer of birth, for that wave of maternal love, and that unexpected depressive despair. I wasn't prepared for witnessing the sheer cumulative hardship that Lily was enduring at such a young age. And nor was I prepared for the love and the courage that she had for her baby's future. And I wasn't prepared for learning that Lily's baby girl, unlike my own, was being born into a society that knows that she was going to have a higher chance of not surviving and a higher chance of not thriving. She was more likely to die than other babies. And no one was going to do anything about it. I didn't know it then, but I was in for the long haul, and I had found my cause. So fast forward 27 years and 20,000 young parents and babies later. And do you know, I am running out of patience because Lily's baby came back to us as a teenager, pregnant with her baby, and nothing had changed. Despite the work we'd done to support Lily, despite Lily's drive for a better future, her baby experienced the abuse and harm and violence that her mother had before her. We realized young mums can't change this on their own. A charity like Wild Young Parents can't change this alone. The problem is at every layer of society, and it's for all of us to change it. And today, I am hoping that that change starts with you, opening your eyes, hearing the truth, and changing your minds. It's a myth that young parenthood was the norm in the past. We started taking records of age at first pregnancy in 1938 when it was about 28 years old. The lowest it ever got was 23 in the 70s, and it's been rising ever since, and we're around the 30 mark now. So it was always unusual. It was always extraordinary. In fact, young mums only have 5% of all the babies born in the UK, and yet they make up 42% of those women who have more than one baby removed from their care. How is that possible? Even their very right to life is compromised. So our babies of our youngest mums are represented in the worst and most miserable of statistics. And when Lily's baby was born, she was 60% more likely to die in the first year of life than other babies. And remember, none of you can unknow that. The children who become young mums are basically the children who've had the hardest childhoods. So they are more likely to have experienced sexual abuse in their childhoods, experienced violence in their family home, the criminal justice system, being kicked out of school, all underpinned by enduring poverty. That kind of complex, long-term adversity without the right support leads to those young women like Lily believing that they are shameful, believing that they don't deserve love because love has never been given to them, believing that they will always have a hard life and people will always be horrible to them, believing they don't have the right to vote or the right to a safe relationship or to be free from violence. And on top of that belief, we have our youngest mothers ready for fight or flight. They have experienced danger all their lives, and that is normal to them. So we see responses to that danger, like hypervigilance, struggling with emotional regulation, and even suicidality. Our young mums come to Wild with complex mental health diagnoses of things that are wrong with them. But it's not things that are wrong with them, it's things that have happened to them. And we're holding them responsible for them. Lily said, everybody in life has let me down. How am I supposed to trust anybody? I'm constantly on alert for danger. I don't think anyone will ever want me. I am worthless. And the thing is, young mums have no power at all to change this. How could someone like Lily have power? They have no power over where they live, or even if they get a roof over their head. They have no power over their income, or if they have enough to live on. They have no power often over their own reproductive rights or whether violence happens to them. And they don't even have power over whether they get to keep their babies with them. Lily wanted a better future for her baby, but she didn't have the power or the resource to do that by herself. You see, babies are completely dependent on their parents. We're not born fully formed as humans. Our brains are still going to grow for at least 25 years, we know now. Our bodies are developing rapidly, and even our emotions are not ready. Our baby's mental health and physical development is totally predicated on a parent who is resilient, has good mental health, and can provide consistent, sensitive, loving care. How could someone like Lily provide that? And the thing is, this is known. It's known that Lily's baby, and like Lily before her, like Lily's mother before her, was going to have a harder life. It's simple. If your parent has unresolved, complex adversity and is struggling with that, they are not going to be able to help you thrive. We know that. It's a fact. And so Lily's baby was going to be born with the likelihood that she would have a shorter, harder life. Are you all prepared to let that continue? Because it's known. It's been known for decades. There was a 20-year government framework to tackle this issue. It did not change it. It's known in universities. There are countless academic papers and books. It's known by policymakers. It's known by practitioners, our NHS, our local government, our politicians. So you think, okay, if this is known, then we must be doing something really positive about it, mustn't we? We must be offering an amazing support service. Well, we're not. What happens instead is that we offer help to young women like Lily that's not fit for purpose. We put them on short-term courses that don't help them remove the barriers that they have, both internal barriers and external barriers, to be able to use those courses. So we set them up to fail. We're offering them tools to help that we know don't work. So we're not helping them. What we do is blame them. And we've been blaming them for a long time. So we don't only blame, we punish. We punish young mothers when they've missed the bus because it didn't turn up and they missed their benefits appointment. We punish them by sanctioning their benefits and removing their meager amount of money they have to live on. We punish them when we say, you've had too many food bank vouchers and too many emergency payouts. So we punish them by making them be hungry. We punish them when we tell them that they must pick up the phone to mental health services despite their anxiety levels. And so we close them and remove that psychological support and say that they are hard to reach and difficult to engage. And imagine being Lily when her ex-violent boyfriend, known to services, broke into her flat and she was told by services that she had failed to protect her child. Back in the 90s, when young mums came together and formed Wild Young Parents, John Major's government was in power, and they had a campaign for the older people in the audience, you might remember this, called Back to Basics. And Back to Basics vilified young single mums. They were scapegoated for all of society's ills. We were told that young mums got pregnant to get a council house, that they spent their money on cigarettes and televisions, neglecting their children. And this meant from then on, we have culturally misrepresented young mothers as problematic. We are holding them accountable for the poverty they experience, for the abuse they experienced as children, for the discrimination that they experience on the street, in services, in public. Why do you think we do this? We know it's not their fault, yet we're blaming them. Well, it's more convenient. It's more convenient to blame an individual than it is to admit that your system is flawed. It's more convenient to blame an individual than to admit that the help you're giving them isn't going to work anyway. And it's more convenient for all of us to blame an individual than admit that our personal privilege and comfort is at the expense of those experiencing hardship. And it doesn't have to be this way. We know that if we sit alongside young mums and their babies and bear witness to their distress, they start to have a voice. If we tell them it's not what happened to you, if we tell them it's not what's wrong with you, it's what happened to you, then they can start to process that trauma and feel validated and valued. If we help them learn to cope in crisis, if we help them learn emotional repair after rupture, then they start to be able to emotionally regulate for themselves and for their babies. And if we bring them together and we help them build on their strengths and build power and agency, then we're helping them rewrite the future for their babies. So I'm asking you to join us in this. We know it's possible. We work with young mums who are having their children removed, and 70% of them keep their babies. 90% feel more hopeful about the future. 85% have a safer home. Our wild graduates are builders and mechanics and writers and musicians and nurses and midwives and everything in between. If we do the right thing, we will gain empowered women, safe, healthy babies who have a decent start at life and a chance of actually living. Barack Obama was the child of a teenage mum. Aretha Franklin, Maya Angelou, Stacey Solomon, Angela Rayner, Tom Jones, Whoopi Goldberg, all teenage parents. What kind of life could Lily have had if she'd had a fair start? So I'm asking you today to use your influence to amplify the voices of young mums and their babies like Lily, and to tell the truth about her story. Lily's in her 40s now. She's had a tough life. She's experienced tragic loss. Her eyes are tired and her face is lined and her hands still shake with anxiety, but she still has that wicked smile. And do you know, she volunteers every week supporting people in her local neighborhood. And she said to me, I volunteer so that I can give something back. And the irony that she thinks she has to give something back when everything was taken from her. So I ask you to stand with our courageous young parents, some of them still children themselves, to stand with them, all of them across Cornwall, and our 38,000 strong young parent community across the UK, and change that story. It's a simple ask from me to you, a fair start for young parent families. Thank you.